I love this show. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Metaphysical Hour. I think I'm Julia Cannon, and I'm pretty sure this is Tracy Mahan. And along today we have John McCluckey. So, woohoo! So excited.
And today wasn't my fault. We're laughing as we came in. So
no, it's the behind the scenes. Isn't it fun to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, John?
Yeah,
that's the most interesting.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's really funny. People think that it's so professional, and it's like so not.
No, we're just winging it like the rest of you.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm glad I'm not doing the technical stuff. Oh my God. Actually,
I'm glad you're not doing it.
That's what we have the professionals for. We need that in the most loving way.
Absolutely, most loving.
Actually, I was thinking the last time I was on here was with Suzanne Spooner, and you guys were having real problems hearing me. Like, can't hear you, can't understand you.
Oh.
And then after the show, I looked at my microphone and there was a light, and me goes, "Oh, light on, microphone on." But then I Googled it and it's like, no, light on, microphone off. So the whole time my microphone was off. And I just started cracking out laughing. I was like, oh.
Sometimes, John, we just need a pretty face. And so maybe the universe was like, they just need to look at him.
Sometimes the world just needs to hear Suzanne Spooner's stories. I can listen to those stories all day long.
Oh, yeah.
She has good ones. Yes.
The endless supply. All right. So I'm going to jump in here to our nice little chat.
Yes.
And everybody, Julia's got a request from you. She's going to request it while I read off here in a second. What do you like?
Yeah, absolutely. Please tell us where you're from. Everybody, come on in, first of all, and tell us where you're from. That is such a cool thing. One, you're lighting up the grid where you are. You are pinging off lights for yourself. And then that shows us all where we all are. But that grid, that's an important thing. I don't know all of the things yet. I just know that's important when you're firing off your light. So stay tuned and we'll get more information as that keeps developing. But just keep.
Yeah. Let's light up the world. We're going to light up the world. We're going to start with Fargo, North Dakota. And then we're going to go to Malaysia. Hey, Hood River, Oregon. That's right. Australia. You got some of your friends here, John. We got Panama City. We've got the UK. Let's see. I just moved this real fast and lost all my place. Let's see who else is on here saying where they're from. Arizona, New Mexico, California, Chicago, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Toronto, New Zealand, California again, Singapore, another California. All right, you guys are representing. We got New Zealand again and Los Angeles. And this person knows you, John, is Christina. She says, hi, John. So
hi, Christina.
Very specific to you. We're not hurt by that at all, Christina. No, I'm just kidding. We're good. Okay, Los Angeles, Dublin, Orlando, Australia again, Nevada, San Diego.
Very cool.
Melbourne, Australia again. UK, Derbyshire, UK, Canada, from Toronto, Canada. Another New Zealand.
See, this is what I want you guys to see. It's that right there.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
New York, we got a new subscriber, JD. Hello, welcome. We got another one from the UK. We got Vancouver, BC. We got Quebec, Canada, Maryland, Pittsburgh, Michigan, Indiana.
You know, anybody.
Australia. My gosh, John, you brought some friends today because we get a lot from Australia.
Well, you know, okay, UK and Europe, it is really, really late at this time.
Yes. Yes.
So I am, thank you. I am humbled. You guys come in from really inconvenient times. I mean, my goodness, that is really cool.
It is.
Thank you so much.
We got Texas, Utah, another Arizona. We got Wales. We've got London, Hot Springs, Montera. I don't know where that is. Okay. Maybe that was Montana. That's what that was supposed to say. There's a little correction down below. Okay, Philadelphia, Chicago. Okay, so there we go. We're Ottawa,
cool.
Canada. We got everybody from everywhere.
Yes.
All right, this is good.
Pay attention. Just
That's
you're
awesome.
not alone, guys. You are not the only one that's thinking this way, that's doing these things. You are not alone.
Yeah.
You're not the only weirdos.
Exactly. This is the weirdo club. You're one of us.
You're among the best.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Very cool.
And if anybody wants to ask me any questions in the comments, like
we can have you talk about any healing, anything like that, whatever you want to talk about. First, Tracy and I were at the Disclosure Fest Stairway to the Stars this last weekend, and when very beginning we said something about winging it, and that just reminded me of the QHHT panel that we did. That was so funny because we totally winged it. I mean, totally. And it was a really cool success. It was really fun.
Let's give them a little foundation with that, because you know, they told us we had a panel, and Julia's name, and then there was Holly and Jeroen and Sarah and Erica and myself. Well, when we walked in, they had enough chairs for all of us, including Julia, to sit in. So we're like, oh, there must be a moderator. So we all sit down, and nobody shows. The camera guy's like, we could get started anytime, and we're like, okay. Where's the moderator? And nobody told Julia they wanted her to be the moderator. There was no conversation about any of us doing that.
I mean, there might have been in the very beginning, but I didn't remember it.
But I just want to say Julia was a rock star. She just was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And Tiffany was there, who isn't here with us tonight because she was out of town. She just got in, and Julia gave her the night off because she was stressing to see if she needed to help us. But she grabbed the microphone, and you grabbed the podium, and the rest of us were answering questions, and we just threw it together, and it was really good.
The only reason I had any idea of what to do is because I was on another panel the night before, and that was moderated. Oh my gosh, that woman did such a fantastic job. So she was a wonderful, wonderful teacher for me to be able to do it the next day. So I kept wondering, why am I on this panel? That was why. So, I mean, it was a wonderful panel. I super enjoyed it, and I loved it. I just didn't, it was a Starseed panel. It was like, everybody on this panel is a Starseed. I'm like, really? Am I? I don't know. But it was gorgeous. I really loved that panel. It was so fun. And
I really enjoyed you not knowing if you were a Starseed or not, with all the books that your mom has written. And
yeah, but see, I guess I compartmentalize those things in my head, and I'm not so big into labels. And so, like, to me, what I was considering the Starseeds, when people started calling people Starseeds, it's like those that are volunteers, and they know they're here from wherever. They are very specific. And me, I've had lives, I've had lots of regressions, and I know, and just seeing things spontaneously, I know I'm simultaneously on a ship, and I know that I have lives on other planets, I know on other dimensions, and that's what they're like, and what part of this is not a Starseed? I look at those as other lives. I don't look at them as, oh, this is this. See, so there's more out there. But when she was like, I knew that I had a mission. See, and that changed a while back. I knew when I first started working with my mother, at first it was like the agreement. I could tell there was a contract there. We had something we were doing together. That was very clear. And then somewhere after several years, it shifted and became a mission feel. And that's how it still feels. It's like, this is a mission. And so, and then that's where Elizabeth April was the moderator, and she was like, that's one of the key, whatever you want to call, signs of a Starseed is you have a mission. I just tell people, hey, you're here for a reason. See, I guess we say it in different ways. I mean, I know I have a reason. I know everybody has a reason. So that's how I look at it. I just don't segment things, and that's probably where anyway, that's what happened.
I think it was awesome, because it kind of, well, I mean, I'm sitting in the audience, sitting here like, oh, am I a Starseed? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I've always thought of you that way, as the Starseeds that came in to help shift in a big way. Like, you're our leader.
Well, I think it's because I have in my head that star seeds are, they're the waves, they're the volunteers, and they directly come. See, I'm probably doing the similar thing that other people do. It's like I'm trying to categorize it so much that I ruled a lot of things out. So
anyway. I mean, we're everything.
Absolutely. And that's how I look at it.
The more we experience that. So
we all are having these experiences. That's how I feel. And that's where it's like, I just don't want to, sometimes with some of these things that I've seen, and I'll just get blunt here, I've seen where it's like, okay, we have this group here and we're special, and that's something that I am always trying to equalize. It's like nobody is more special than anybody else. We are all special. We all have, XYZ. So it's like to me, that segregation, when you try to pull a group and say, oh, this is this, so that's where I think my brain just goes, blanks it all out.
I understand that too, because a lot of times in sessions, people they get afraid to see who they were before coming into this planet. Yet it's a huge question. Who was I before I became this human? And then they see it and then they don't want to believe it, because we're all big, beautiful, powerful energies. And when you get in there and you see that, they go into that part of, well, I'm not this. We're all this, get over yourselves. We're all this.
We're all this. And that's just no one is better than anyone else. And I guess that's the point I'm really trying to make. It's like, we all can do this. We all are this. We all, everything.
Can you be our leader? As I was teasing earlier, could you be in a leadership position and still be no bigger, lesser than the next? But this is the role you're holding. I think that's a big thing that people need to understand too, is you might be put in a role where you're going to help people or guide them in ways, and that doesn't mean that you're above them or different than them.
Correct.
It just means that you have more information at this given moment and you can help.
Absolutely.
Isn't that what all the real leaders say?
I think so. Yeah. You want to chime in on our leader, Julia, while I read questions?
What I've found too is, just getting back to the Starseed question, I've found that most of us are Starseeds. Like it's pretty obvious, because we're kind of connected to the universe. It's very easy to spot a Starseed. We're friggin', I call us space cadets. We're interested in the bigger picture.
Right.
But I've found in sessions, some are actually Earth souls. And I think what it is I think it's the Earth soul popping out of the Earth, having experience as a human being to help Earth. And I can identify those ones too, because they're not really interested in the intergalactic stuff, but they love the Earth. And what I've found is, after their Earth experience as a human, they actually go back inside the Earth. They don't go back out. And I've found that more and more, and it's really interesting. That's why I like doing these sessions, because you kind of learn those kinds of things. Yeah. Whereas I find the space cadets like us, we're here to help. And then once our mission's done, we're back out. Yeah. We're not here to stay. Whereas the Earth soul ones that are here to stay. Yeah. But we're all helping. We're all helping each other. And
see, and that's the part I think that, because I know of many of my other lives on Earth, and I love Earth, and that's where some people are like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. I love Earth.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful planet. I just love it. So that's what I was like, well, I don't know that I am, because I feel this way and I know my lives. And that was like, but anyway, so that's
and our bodies are Earth. Our bodies stay here. Like we either get buried, or even if we get cremated, it still gets reincarnated, because it just goes up in the atmosphere and it comes back down as water. So then it still gets used up by the Earth. It's just that our souls might go somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really interesting just learning all this
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I love Earth too. Like Earth is, I tell people Earth is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
From what I've found is it's the only planet that can hold so much diverse life forms,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
it can give souls so many different experiences. And I explain it like this. I say there's a crab out in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere, and it's because they're quite protective, like its whole universe is a very sheltered universe.
Right.
It doesn't even know that there's land. It doesn't even know that there's an elephant. It doesn't know that there's human beings. But Earth can hold that experience for it. And then there's people, there's human beings in the jungles that are having another experience.
Right.
And they might not know that there's a New York City. They wouldn't know that there's a New York City. You know, they wouldn't know that there's a hustle and a bustle.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Earth holds, if you actually think of how much life Earth holds and experiences, oh my God, what an amazing host Earth is.
Infinite. It's
Like
great.
it's a beautiful place. Like it is stunning. Yeah. It's just the humans on Earth that drive me a bit bonkers sometimes. But
And even the humans are diverse.
100%. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You don't want them to be the same, because otherwise we might as well just be robots.
Right.
Right.
And it wouldn't be a human experience.
And there are planets that are like that. But this is not one of them.
I just had a client that came in and had like her view of humankind and what's going on in this world was a little cantankerous. And by the end of her session, she loved humanity. She no longer felt like she had to fix anything. She loved their life and the world and all the things, just like you're talking about. And it was such an amazing shift to get to see somebody go through that and have all of these, screwed ideas of everything and scrutinizing everything that's happening on the planet and all the things, and then leave going, well, of course it's all in perfect order. That's happening, that's happening so that this can happen, and this is happening so that can happen. And some are evolved and some are not, and the ones that are not are helping the ones that are get more evolved, and eventually that's going to change and shift, and then their evolution will happen. And it's like all this clarity was coming through, and she came out of it just looking at the world like, well, it's all in perfect order. Of course it has to be this way.
Yeah,
and it was
why am I concerned?
yeah, it was so magical. I'm laughing a little bit because somebody said in here, John can't get a word in edgewise when we're talking about. That's because John wasn't at the Vegas, the Disclosure Fest, Stairway to the Stars in Vegas. Julia and I were trying to catch everybody up on that because we had announced that we were going to be at that. So sorry, John, it looked like we were leaving you out of the conversation, but we want you in it now.
I'm a listener.
I have to ask you guys, Tiffany isn't here today, so please put Tracy in capital letters. So I know you're asking a question because there are a lot of comments coming in, and it's hard to tell which ones are just comments and which ones are questions. So if you guys can write in capital letters Tracy at the beginning of it, then I know you're asking a question, because I'm kind of multitasking here and listening. And
she hasn't done that in a while.
So. No, I've been out of practice because we have the most beloved Tiffany doing that now. So please put my name capital in there. And then I will know you're asking a question, and I'll ask these amazing souls your question.
And then next week, what happened before when we did this? Then the next week, people were still putting Tracy and were like, oh, these are all questions for me. Okay.
Oh, they want me to answer that. Julia, you don't need to be here. No.
Julia, I'm sorry. Nobody wants to ask you anything. It's all for me.
Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can find one for us while we're doing this. Let's see.
Well, I'm just going to ask John while you're looking through there. What kind of, were you noticing themes, John, in your sessions lately? Like, are you noticing any notable themes or just anything that you want to talk about in your session?
Kind of along the same lines as Tracy. Like, what are you worried about? Don't worry about it. It's all good. But I don't know if that's a reflection of the facilitator as well. You know?
Oh, I think you're hitting on a big thing right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's what it is. Yeah, but it was good because I think what happened in that lady and Tracy's session is she actually kind of got outside of her little box and looked at things from a bigger perspective and went, whoa, hang on a minute. Everything's just and everything's exactly how it's supposed to be. It's okay. And they're having their experience over there, and I'm having my experience over here, and it's okay.
Yeah. And like you were saying earlier, like the people that don't have any of the, you know, the advancements, they live more primitively, they don't know what's going on because they don't have radios and TVs and cell phones and all the gadgets. And that's how we all were in the beginning. You know, we didn't have the gadgets to know what was going on. Like we wouldn't be able to talk to John in Australia and Tracy in Oregon and Julia in Arkansas. We wouldn't have had that. So, you know, we didn't know what was going on in the other parts of the world, where now we have overstimulated information, where we're, you know, and we're compassionate, loving, kind beings. So of course our hearts are going out to these things that are happening. So yeah,
that's what I think too. I've always thought, even as a young kid, I thought, well, the world's always had volcanoes and it's always had earthquakes and it's always had tidal waves. Just when I was growing up, you'd never hear about it.
Right.
You know, you just never hear it happen on the other side of the world. Or if you did hear about it, you'd have to wait for a letter to come from one of your families to say, oh, there was an earthquake. And oh, okay, there's an earthquake. Yeah. But now, because the world is so connected, like it's in, like there could be an earthquake in overseas somewhere, but the brain thinks that it's really close because it's this close on the TV and stuff, so it reacts to that.
Right. And and I need to react because I like my friend, as if it's like it's right there, and it's no different.
And I'm a good person, so I have to feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I've got a rule: if you can't control it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
And I can't control much. I've got a couple of rules. Another rule is if it's, because I live in a little bubble, I've created a little bubble for myself, and it's
bubble world.
It's bubble world. Yeah, it's probably about in miles. It's probably about 2 miles. So it's from here to the beach, to the shopping center, you know, get all the groceries, everything. And if it doesn't happen in my 2 mile radius, I'm sorry, I really couldn't give a shit. And that sounds really, I'm the most compassionate person, but I can't control what happens out there. So I don't put my energy into worrying about it, because if you worry about it, well, then you're adding to that energy.
Right.
But if something happens in my bubble, oh man, I'm going to give that 100% energy, because I'm going to start really looking for solutions there, because I can control that and I can contribute and do stuff.
And you have to think about that too. If it's affecting you, then that's meant for you. And if it's not affecting you, then it's not meant for you. So if it's not in that bubble, then that was meant for the people that do have it in their bubble too.
Do have it in their bubble,
yeah.
And then it's up to you to discern if it's affecting you or if it's not affecting you. So that's where it comes down to you to decide.
Yeah. I still feel compassion, but I can't do anything about it.
Right.
So I just wish them all the best, and because I see things from a higher perspective, I know that it's happening for a reason, and I know that they're going to find a solution.
Yeah.
But it's not up for me to find that solution.
Right.
Yeah. And then people go, "Why are you so chilled out all the time?" I'm like, that's why.
Well, and what kind of energy does that put out when you're chilled out? How is that affecting the whole?
Yeah, totally. 100%.
When you're stressed out, look at what that's doing to the whole. It's just adding to that chaotic, stressed energy. But when you're chilled out, see, you're adding that, and then it's helping to create solutions and create calm, where you can come up with solutions.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think faith has a lot to do with it as well. Like my faith is that, okay, well, they're going through that experience, and that's okay. You know, I wish them all the best, but you know, maybe they chose that experience.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and Mom, you know, when people ask about their children, and it's like, how do I help my children? How do I, you know, whatever. We're always trying to protect our children. And one of the things that she would say that I thought was really, really good. Oh, I think she said the SC had said it in a session. It's like, do not take your children's lessons away from them. Well, see, we can take that across to everyone. It's not our people choose their lessons. They are having their lessons for reasons to learn from. If we take them away, if I want to carry your lesson because I don't want you to suffer or whatever, then I've got it and I didn't ask for it. You know, I mean, I'm just taking it on. It was not my plan. And then I'm just burdened down with all your stuff, you know. So let people have their lessons. They chose them to learn from. And some of them are really big ones, but it's their choice.
We have to remember we came with guides and angels and all that, and so did everybody else. You know, we planned it, and so did they. Yeah.
Yeah.
The classic empath.
Yeah. Okay, I have a kind of a hard question to ask here, but I think it's one that is going to help a lot of people. So I do want to ask it. If you guys are up for kind of a little bit of a subject here. So Leah says, greetings. My nephew was killed in a hit and run on Monday. I really need clarity. Can someone explain a little more to me? Did he want to leave the earth?
You want to take it, John?
All right. First thing, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, no one knows apart from him. Secondly, feel the grief. Like, go through it. Don't deny it. Go through it and go hard, because that sucks. I really feel for you.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
I always say, never deny your own emotions.
Yes.
That's part of the human experience is the emotions.
That's why you're here, is to feel that. And that could be part of that, is I want to feel this anguish, this something. I want to know what that feels like. And so how about we set up the situation, and that will do it.
Yeah. People,
it could be something like that.
Yeah. Sometimes a human being wants to find the reason before they feel the emotion.
Yeah.
Because they want to know the bigger picture and all that sort of stuff. Whereas I'm like, my perspective is, don't worry about the bigger picture stuff. Just feel the emotion first and just go with it. And the Western world sucks with that. Absolutely is the worst. It's a shithole, the Western world, for grief.
Yeah.
You go to any indigenous culture.
Yeah.
The Kiwis have it the best. Honestly, the Kiwis and the Maoris have it the best. We call it the 7 days of wailing. So when somebody dies, you basically just stop. They have the body in the house, and everybody is welcome in the house, and it's 7 days, and you let it all out for 7 days, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Because they've expressed it, and they've given permission to express it.
Yes.
So everybody's in the same boat. So there's none of this bullshit. Oh, don't cry. You know, be hard. You know, there's none of that bullshit. It's like, fucking feel your emotions. Like that's part of it. Of course, it's sad.
Absolutely.
It's terrible. Yeah. The Western world is so bad for that. But I know where that comes from. That comes from the war, and don't show your emotions, and, you know, because you're against soldiers and all that sort of stuff.
Well, and I think some of that too, as we are, you know, we're understanding more of these things and what's happening. Okay, and this person chose to go, and it's like, okay, well, I understand these things, so I shouldn't need to cry because I know that they're going on and they're still alive and all that. But that's just it. The body is feeling the reaction, and that's what you want to let the body have it. Otherwise, it's going to hold it all in. And so let it do it. And then after, like you're saying, after that 7, whatever time period feels good, then you can go into this. Okay, what was happening there? Why did he choose to go? What's really going on? Things like that. But allow the body to grieve. Allow it to have that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to talk any more on that subject, or we want a new question? You feel like moving to a new one?
I feel like there's more there, but I feel like it's going to connect somehow through something else. That's interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna go, since we do past lives and how lives connect, I was gonna go into, you know, all the things that you guys said, please put that as a priority, but you know, we don't know what that path was between the hit and run, the person that did the hit and run and the nephew. They might have had something there that they were working out. I mean, there's a reason it was the players in the game that it was, right? And there's stuff we don't know. But you know, you said something over the weekend at the conference that people don't go until they're ready to go. You can't.
No one leaves 1 second before they are meant to go, before it's their time. And everybody chooses their exit point. So that's what you're asking, is why did he choose to go, or what, things like that. But nobody leaves before it's their time. So have faith in that it was his plan.
Yeah.
Maybe
we don't know what the plan was, but have faith that he had one. Because I mean, my gosh, you could go on YouTube and watch near misses and be like, how is that person still alive? I've got relatives that it's like every day you're expecting that phone call because they're getting to that age where it's really, they're struggling. And then somebody else that's fit as a fiddle dies. And it's like, you can't make sense of some of that stuff. So yeah, we choose that time and the lessons and everything that are going with it. It doesn't mean we all understand it when we're standing on this end of it, and it doesn't make sense.
And it doesn't mean we don't miss them.
And it doesn't mean we don't miss them. We miss them terribly. Even if, like, you know, my grandma lived into her 90s. We miss her. I was going through pictures today and found a bunch of pictures of her, and it's like, oh, I miss grandma. And you know, and then you guys know, or I talked a little bit about losing my cousin a few weeks ago, and he was 54, you know, and had a heart attack. And it's like, we're still in shock, you know. It's like, so I understand the shock of what she's going through, and the suddenness of it. Just it's hard. But we do need to understand also that there must have been a purpose for it, you know. And when your mom passed, and how much work I mean, you can literally see the work she's doing on the other side. Every person that sits in a chair across from me says, well, all of a sudden Dolores's stuff was popping up, and I felt like she was personally tapping me on the shoulder, and I'm like,
she's doing so much work.
So much work on the other side. Doesn't mean we don't miss her. Doesn't mean we didn't want her to go, you know. So yeah, there's all of that. Okay, let's see. Let's get on a little bit of a more fun, now that we touched on a heavy thing, but there was a lot that needed to be expressed there. You know, Leo wasn't the only one that needed to hear things.
Don't be afraid of your emotions.
Yeah, it's important to
feel your emotions. It's
feelings.
That is why you are here on planet Earth. If you wanted to feel emotions, so feel them.
I actually think that that's the only real fear that we have is our own emotions.
Oh, sure.
Everything that stops us from doing what we want and what we want to create is actually our emotional attachment to that.
Yeah.
People are petrified of their own emotions. Petrified of them.
Yeah.
Just feel them. Understand them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about some of my emotions, and sometimes I'm afraid if I go down that road, I might lose control. So I wonder if that's some of the fear. It's like, I don't know what will happen if I have to stay, whatever. I want to stay in control. We have such a control thing. It's just, and emotions, you lose control. So it's like, I don't know where I'm going to go with this, but.
Or if I say or express something, is that going to make people leave me, and the abandonment thing, you know? I'm going to try and keep
that's a fear of rejection.
Yeah. So that I don't lose people if I express how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a little lightheartedness. Let's do this one. Victoria would like to know more about the lighting of the grid when you're asking for everybody's location in the grid. So tap into that a little bit and see what happens. What kind of information comes through for you?
Well, I know it's an energetic grid, and when you ping. It's like a ping that's happening. It's like you're lighting up your place on the grid. And then it's already there. It's not like you're creating it, but it's activating, it's doing something. Like I said, I just know it's important. So I don't know, but to me, even activating is weird because it's there. So I'm like, what are we activating? It's already there. Reinforcing just came in. I think there's something about, though, when you are doing it, it's you consciously acknowledging your place. There's something there with that. That's the big part. So
yeah.
What else? Anybody else? Do you get anything, John? Do you get anything, Tracy? I mean, you guys, what do you get? I mean, there's something. I know that's what it feels. It's like there's so
feel
much
like it's
there, so.
we're all little threads, and when we light up, it's almost like in my mind it just puts this little net around the earth at this time where we're all setting this vibration and intention. I need to say some things because apparently I didn't cover this very well. Okay, so if you would like to ask a question, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is, I'm getting all the questions on the same platform over here. So just put my name in capital letters, TRACIE, capital letters, and then I'll know you're asking a question and it'll come to me, and I'm going to get to as many of those as I can as we're getting into the answering of those. I do have to tell Kat, maybe you guys understand this one because I'm kind of curious about it, but I don't know what it is. Kat is asking, do we believe in the love wave and clarion call? I don't know what that is. The clarion call.
The love wave and what?
And the clarion call?
I don't know what that is either.
I don't know either. So she wants to be a little bit, or somebody wants to tell me what that is. Maybe we could focus on
the love wave sounds cool.
I know. It sounds
I believe in everything.
Age of Aquarius. Yeah. Are we starting a love wave? Like it. Okay.
I believe in everything.
Got that one.
It's all
everything. The whole lot. It's all real.
Yeah. It's all real on some level.
On some level, yeah. It might not be in my reality.
Right.
But it can definitely be in somebody else's reality.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
So therefore it is
That's
real.
a good thing. Let's talk about realities a little bit. So, because you were talking about your bubble. And so it all kind of goes together, right? It's like, how do people understand? What would be your way, John, to describe to people how they create their own realities? So your reality is absolutely perfect for you. Their reality. Yeah.
Okay, so reality, my perception of it, it starts off with a thought. Our thoughts aren't even our thoughts. I think from learning what I do, because this is my thing. I'm a learner. So I think that thoughts are in the ether, but we've tuned ourselves to tune into thoughts. But I know that we've got a thing called a reticular activating system in our brain, and it'll find evidence of that thought. So that's the part of our brain, the humanness, I'm talking about the humanness here. That's the part of our brain that if you're thinking about buying a yellow car, that part of your brain will look for evidence of yellow cars, and all of a sudden you'll start seeing, oh, there's a yellow car, there's a yellow car, there's a yellow car, there's a yellow car. But it started off with that thought, I want to buy a yellow car. So your brain and your mind is actually a little bit of a servant of what you think, but you can train what you think, and you can change your perspective on things. Like I can look out the window and go, wow, it's a beautiful day. It's just so beautiful. It's amazing. But somebody with a different tuning system will go, oh, it's windy. It's pretty shitty, and it's probably going to rain later. It's exactly the same day. It's exactly the same picture. But they can easily in a split second change that thought.
Yeah.
Just like I can, but I choose not to. Because my body feels good in that.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to change it to what they were saying, what they're thinking,
my body would react.
That you will then now just see what they're saying. You'll see that part of it. Yeah.
And my body would react to it, and it'll start feeling down and start feeling, yeah. So when you can kind of, because you can create whatever bubble you want, you can create it how small or how big you want, you know? But it's the perception of that bubble as well. Because a lot of people have, I can't remember the disease where they actually shrink their bubble down because they think that the world's so scary, and then they start not leaving their house because something might happen, and then they eventually don't leave their bed because they want to feel so safe. You imagine what they're tuned into the thoughts and how their body feels. Oh my God.
Exactly.
What a horrible existence.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing is I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to get out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you to choose. It's like, see, and that's a mantra I used to say all the time, and now I don't need to. But sometimes if I ever get kind of it's always, I am always safe. I am always safe. And I just keep saying it over and over. Like I said, now I don't need to. I just know that because that's my bubble. In my bubble, I am always safe.
Yeah. That's why control freaks want to be control freaks, because really at the end of the day, whatever they can control, they feel safe in that control.
Right.
Yeah. Which kind of, they're creating their own little bubble. But it's a boring as batshit bubble. Like all the fun and all the spontaneity is outside of that bubble.
Yeah, but we don't know what somebody else, I mean, to us, it's like, oh my gosh, how could that be in existence? But that's their world that they created.
That's their world, and that's what their soul is wanting to experience. Or maybe because everybody is an individual, maybe that was their challenge to conquer themselves, to get outside of that bubble.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's why I'm the first one to admit, like, I don't know, because everybody's on an individual path. So
right, and we don't know, and that's why these sessions are so great. QHHT sessions is somebody wants to know what is this all about. You will get the answers for yourself from yourself. So we can only speculate just because from things we've seen and experienced, but only you have your answer.
Yeah.
Totally. Which makes it good fun for us because we don't know what's going to happen.
Have no idea.
We have no idea.
Just along for the ride.
Just have fun. Just have fun as much as you can. All right. I say that my next question is, okay, I cry a lot and feel things moving very fast. What can I do to help? What can be done to help me through this? I kind of paraphrase that. So a lot of people are experiencing what we were calling this week in the rapid ascension. You were asking questions on the panel. What have you been experiencing since COVID hit? And as the panel of practitioners, we were experiencing a big rise in the awakening. So what kind of tips do you guys have for people that are going through ascension symptoms, emotional things, purging of all these energies? What do you have for them? I
can answer. Well, one thing, and when she's talking about things speeding, they seem so fast, and that when I feel that happening, and it's that can be scary. It's like everything's happening, it's moving so fast, and it's like sometimes I feel like, can we just stop the earth and I'll get off now? Because that feels like it's, and usually what that causes is this overwhelmment feeling, or I think that's why it's because I'm feeling overwhelmed. And so many times I just have to start breaking it down into segments. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. It's like there might be a lot of things coming, and you're thinking about the whole of it, and that is just overwhelming. And it's like, I can't do that. So I just okay, we're going to start with the first thing, and then we'll deal with the next thing. Then we'll work with the next. So, and by doing that, then I'm able to breathe, and I'm able to I'm always safe. Because that's that out of control thing again. That helps me tremendously. And then it becomes everything's fine. See, because then I'm talking to myself the whole time. I'm working myself through this. So there's a lot of that. We are the ones in charge of us. We are monitoring this all the time. We are the ones in charge of what this thinks and what this says and what this believes. So we can change that anytime we want. And that's what I do. But that just happened like very recently. And I was like, okay, every time that does it, I just breathe. I just have to breathe, and then, okay, we'll break it down into increments.
Yeah.
I would actually do a soul speak session on myself there. Because what you want to do is she's crying for a reason.
Yes.
There's a part of her that's crying.
Yeah. What is she crying about?
Yeah. So I kind of detach from that, and I'll just go and talk to that aspect of herself and find out what's going on. Why is she crying? Yeah. And then just let it talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually so simple and so easy. And if it wants to cry, just let it cry. Cry. It's okay. Yeah. But just find out why it's crying. Try and understand why it's crying. And what is it going through? And why is it going through that? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's why I like soul speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little plug there. I like that. This is the point where I'd be like, dude, get yourself this book. Okay. All right. So let's kind of keep on this with when I decided to come to Earth with the commitment to learn some lessons, and all is decided before we are born. I don't think all is decided, but Patricia's saying, how does that work with the fact that we manifest anything we want? Well, you have free will too. So, so what do you guys want to say about we decide everything that we're going to do when we come in? So how does that work with free will and with manifesting our desires?
I think I'll just start here. We have certain things we want to accomplish. We come in with certain things, and then everything else is an experience. So that way we have room in there to maneuver with other things that happen. But I still think they're like maybe right before it, we're pre-playing or kind of doing dress rehearsals. Maybe it's like, oh, I wonder what this would be like. Wonder what this, because we're all over the place energetically. We're not on this linear path. We're engaging and doing all kinds of things. So I think what other part? There's another thing I had in my head that I wanted to say. Can you repeat what it was about? About the plan. Okay, we have certain things we want to do. Okay, and then
how does it work?
Okay, that was the manifesting part.
Manifest, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that's where, this. I don't remember if it was at the talk I did, or if it's, I remember saying this recently, so it could have been there. I don't know, but it's like we have things that we have planned. Okay, and then we have choices on how we can handle them, what we want to do, things like that, and so that might shift them differently, because that's the whole reason for having them planned, is we want to have certain experiences. Then we have all these other experiences in there as well. Now, when we start manifesting, we start shifting our timelines. Those things that we've set in stone, this is going to happen, they will still happen. They might not always look the same, but it might be the same encounter. I mean, the same person or the same kind of event that's happening. It just might be a little bit different. Like you see some of these movies and you'll see where it's like this meeting so happens, but this time it's in a different scenario, or this time it's this way, but it's like, it's depending on what else is happening in the life. So that's those things that were set, that you had planned in the blueprint before you came in. The other things are shifting because of different choices you're making. So that's how it looks to me.
That in the level 2 class that you did, and you drew that picture, I'll draw it.
The maze.
So yeah, kind of. I kind of draw it a bit differently. So if you were born there and you're going to die there, so you might have 4 things that are going to be planned. You're going to meet this person, going to have a kid or whatever. You're going to have blah, blah, blah here, blah, blah, blah here. It doesn't matter where your life goes. It could go like this. But at that point,
you will be there.
You will be there. The universe will set that up for you. But then you could be all over the place, and then like this. But I kind of like that made a lot of sense to me. And then but because I've had so many, this is why I want people to have an individual session, because every soul is different.
Yes.
Like I've had some souls come in and they're born here and they're going to die there, and go and do whatever you want, go and experience. It's just experience. And I kind of think that that's like dropping your kids off to a theme park and going, do whatever you want to do.
Have fun.
Go and have fun. You don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. But if you want to go on this, because that gives them freedom. Whereas sometimes if they're too rigid, they're going, I'm only going to do this ride. and I'm not going to do that ride. But that ride could have been the best ride of their whole life. But because they're too rich, so it's a real individual thing. But that's why I like doing these sessions, because you can find out for yourself, because every soul is different.
Yeah, I love that analogy, but that's exactly it. Go make of it what you will.
Yeah. And just see what happens. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You get a feel of that.
You do, yeah.
I've had a few of those.
Come in with a plan, and it's all, but it's not every minute of it is planned. There's certain things that are planned that are okay. These events will happen, and they're all negotiated and contracted, if you want to use that word. But then everything else, it's just like, okay, what do you want to do here? Now you have movement. But my surprise look a while ago was we just got the 3-minute warning, and I'm just like, what? It's already there.
Oh my God.
Oh. So I don't know. Can we get another one in? I mean, we were down to 2 minutes.
I've got a question, and it's from Shannon Betts over in South Africa. She's just doing her level 3. She had a client, and because on their planet they spoke telepathically, she was finding it really hard because they didn't want to speak, right? She was finding it so hard to get information from that client. And the SC aspect was exactly the same. So what's the solution there?
That's a good question, because I've had similar things. Yeah, I mean, I would ask them if you're aware that's why you're not getting information. Maybe say, on my reality, I can't read your mind. Can you say it out loud?
See, that's very similar to like when we say they're not speaking. Can you speak in the language that I'm used to speaking in? It's just so different. They come in with their own language. It's like I have to understand you. Yeah, help me out here, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very good.
Yep. So that's what I said to her too. I'm a human being here. Can you communicate? I wish I could speak telepathically, but I can't. And I'm trying my best. and I'm trying my best to get as much information. But then I said to her, with the FC, if it's still not doing, like, don't be afraid to ask for someone else. Is there somebody else that can talk to me? Because I'm just not getting anything. Same with real boring SCs, because sometimes SCs can be real boring, like so bland. And I'm like I'm not scared. I'm like, man, I'm finding you so boring. Is there somebody else that's up there that can answer these questions?
We need this information.
Yeah. I've had to ask him to speak up because he'll whisper.
Oh yeah.
They talk real quiet. It's like, I'm not able to hear that.
Don, how can people find you? I know we're going to get cut off.
Yeah, we're going to get cut off.
How can people find
you? Just Google me. Just look up my name and QHHT, and that's probably the best way. Yeah.
I got a good way to find John. It's QHHTofficial.com under level 3 practitioner. He is in Australia. What part are you in that you practice out of?
I'm on the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast is beautiful. The beach.
Who doesn't want to go there? Destination session. I love it. Okay, Julia, how do people become a practitioner? Where do they go? Give them the
QHHTofficial.com. Everything you need. QHHT. Just go there. And Tracy and John are on there on the level 3 page. If you want to go find a practitioner, Tracy's in Oregon and John's in
Gold Coast, Australia.
So, but you might be willing to travel. So if you're willing to travel to either of these 2 locations, you can go find these wonderful practitioners.
Yes. Or find one in your area. Yeah.
Or come along to Phuket, because that'll be cool.
Oh yes.
We're doing a retreat in Phuket, Thailand, January 24th to the 30th. That would be wonderful if you could come join us. It'll be wonderful. Use the code DREAMTRIP to get a really nice discount off of the ticket.
Yeah, nice. That'll be cool fun. And I was thinking about that. That's been 5 years since you've been down under.
Oh my goodness.
5 years.
It will be by then, yes. Oh my God.
That's been a crazy, right? COVID is like crazy. This last years. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we're gonna have to he's gonna cut us off. So we want to thank all of you. Thank you for
coming. Love y'all. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.